Oh, big time dunk by.
Yeah, they won on back-to-back nights. On Tuesday, they won at home. Here's Paul George.
Oh. Just checked in, not able to handle it. George is right back. Miami gets back, and George in the face.
That was nicely done.
In my day, that would just be play on, buddy.
That's a parking ticket you did. George!
Of the numbers, George Hill's going to pull it out. Paul George goes to the rim for the...
He'll take it down the lane, and Monroe just stripped him.
That's something we don't see from Roy very often. Whoa! That from the field reminds you a little bit of Jeff Foster offensively.
Oh, what a pass by State!
Ball's deflected away. West. George fires for the tie.
Oh!
He got it!
Here he goes.
Here we go.
PG.
What you got?
Puts
Oh,
on a shot.
yeah! Oh, yeah!
Here comes George. Got the step and stuffs. What a move! Bothered by Lou.
I just shot my shot at this little dot. I'm trying to crit that neck on her big neck. My niggas selling crit.
What's up, YouTube? It's Drewww. I'm back in another video with a big body bang 23 video. Now, first things first, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, roll 6K. Now saying today I am the build dealer on your local corner, and I'm coming at y'all with this Paul George build video. Yes, sir, this was requested, sir, today. I had a good time with this build as always. You know, I didn't specify. I made Paul George earlier in the year, but this is the Indiana Pacers version of Paul George. So yes, this is the Indiana Pacers version of Paul George. I thought it would be a good idea, and y'all seem to want it. Y'all also want the Toronto version of DeMar DeRozan, so that will come out eventually. But without further ado, let's get right to the attributes I use for this Paul George Pacers build video. So as you see, is a small forward, right-handed, number 24. I made him 6'8", 220 pounds with a 6'11" wingspan and a solid body shape. This is all accurate to Paul George at the time, you know, from the height to the weight to the wingspan. You know, I try to stay as accurate as possible. Now in 2K, he was listed at 6'9", but we all know that Paul George is not 6'9", so I just adjusted to make him 6'8". Now for his attributes, you see I put his driving dunk up to a 92, driving layup up to a 90, his close shot up to a 70, and his post control up to a 75. Then for his shooting, I'm going to give him an 80 mid-range shot and an 80 3-point shot with a 72 free throw at the beginning. Eventually it'll go up, or eventually I'll adjust the close shot, I believe, to 73. Now for pass accuracy, you want a 67, you want an 80 ball handling, and then max out your speed with ball. For your defense, you want an 86 perimeter defense, you want an 85 steal, you want a 80 interior defense, and then you want to put your defensive rebound up to a 70. Now, also for your block rating, you want it up to a 50. As we know, Paul George, especially back then before the ankle injury, was blocking shots like crazy. Now for your physicals, you want a 95 stamina, 85 vertical, 65 strength, 77 acceleration, and a 78 speed. See, where I mess up here is I put the speed up to a 79, but you could put it up to 79 and put the rest of your points toward a free throw if you wanted to, but I think the better alternative is to have a little bit more in your close shot. So what you're going to see me end up doing is take the 3 away from the free throw, take 1 away from speed, and put all of them toward a close shot. And you see right here I have a 73 close shot, but it's up to you at the end of the day. This is pretty much the build, so let me know what you think down below about the build, what y'all would change about the build, what y'all like about it, what y'all really want to be different about the build, you know, and also comment down below any build that y'all want, and I will get to them as always. You know, I stay consistent every day, day in and day out with the posts, so then that pretty much makes sure that I have enough time to cover every possible request that y'all send in, because, you know, I'm a man of the people. Now for the takeovers, as you see, you have access to slashing, shot creating, sharpshooting, and lockdown takeovers. I would go with finishing moves and extreme clamps for a takeover, and I feel like that it will put you in the best position as a Paul George build, knowing that younger Paul George was an explosive finisher as well as a crazy defender, and still is a crazy defender. And you see in the shades of, I get his duo, his partner, Kawhi Leonard. I get bald head Richard Jefferson. I don't know why he be here sometimes. He just be spawning. And then Jimmy Butler as well, which I feel like is a good comparison for him. And you see right here with the badges, I pretty much have a very balanced badge spread. You know, you can't really go wrong with where you put your +4 badge attributes at, you know, but personally for this build, I would put them toward finishing just to get an extra edge in the finishing department. I feel like you could use some more finishing badges to accurately represent this as a Paul George build. Now, with this build, like I said, it was very explosive. It definitely represented a good version of younger Paul George. Very explosive, very shifty, very nimble, very quick. Like, I was able to get to my spots, able to make the right moves, and I was tall enough, obviously, to put defenders in the post and make them look silly. And on top of that, I had gold limitless takeoff on, so I was just literally jumping out of the gym. You know, this is actually a really fun build to play on as well. Like, I would highly recommend this build for park and pro-am and rec, just because like it can literally do it all. It can shoot, it can ISO, it can dunk, it can play in the post. You know, it can do everything that you need it to do and then some. So you could pretty much play as a spotter player if you want to. You could also play as a primary ball handler if you want to. You know, it's like a all-around do-it-all type of build. But let's talk about Indiana Paul. Why did I say Indiana Paul? Indiana PG when he was PG 24. Man's was really different. And honestly, I would take post-injury Paul George over pre-injury Paul George. I think that post-injury Paul George was forced to shoot. You know, post-injury Paul George was forced to become a more consistent scorer and not rely on his athleticism as much, whereas pre-injury Paul George was still a good shooter, but had to rely on his athleticism a lot more. You know, definitely had to rely on it to get to the cup, to get to where he needed to be. And you see right now, Paul George he's still very athletic. Don't get it wrong. You know, it's amazing how great of a recovery he's had, but he's nowhere near as athletic as he used to be, especially with age. So you see he's become a lot more nimble, a lot more quick, a lot more intelligent with the way that he plays basketball and the moves that he makes to put his teammates in the best position to score and succeed. So I really do hope that he wins a championship before he retires with the Clippers, and it looks like they're on track to at least be a contending team, you know, because they are already a contending team. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and roll the signal. You know what I'm saying? Comment down below any builds you want, and I'll eventually get to them. But until then, I'm out. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.